HeyImAmethyst here. How are you? How have you been? How's your day? I hope you've been having a good day. Before I get into the main topic of the video, I want to express my absence for my YouTube channel first, as I owe an explanation. I know it's been a while since I last posted a video on my channel, especially one that's not a video of a past stream I did on Twitch. I did explain why in a video last year, but to summarize, I haven't had motivation to make and edit videos and only had the motivation to stream on Twitch. I've been in a creative slump for a while and I haven't been even drawing as much as I used to. I've been slowly trying to create more art and slowly I've been gaining inspiration for some things I want to create. Recently, I've gained a massive boost of inspiration as well as motivation to start making videos and art again. My channel used to be solely an art channel and then I switched over to gaming. But I feel like by sticking to one thing, this channel doesn't really feel like it represents me. I like gaming, art, and some random things in between. I want my channel to be a reflection of who I am as a person, and so from this video onward, I'll post my speed paints, my gaming videos, my Twitch streams, and video about random things I want to talk about. There won't be much of a schedule, not that I had one to begin with anyway, so I'll just post what I want, when I want, basically, so that I don't burn out. I wanted to come back and interact with my YouTube audience again, and what better way to do that than to rant a little bit about a recent controversy that happened in the art community. Woo! Now that I've gotten my explanation for my answers out of the way, let's get into the topic of today's video. In case you haven't seen the title of this video, I'm going to be talking and voicing my feelings about Kooleen's recent controversy. Many people were outraged because of some of Kooleen's actions involving art of POC or black characters. For anyone who does not know, Kooleen is a very popular art YouTuber with around 2 million subscribers. She mostly posts art tutorials and art roasting videos. The art roasting videos she makes tends to have a satirical or mean nature to them. I'm not sure if mean is the right word for it, but I have the brain of a snail, so please forgive my vocabulary. And the art she roasts in them are submitted by her viewers. Some people have been criticizing the educational value in her tutorials and the way she teaches her tutorials to beginners, and about 2 to 3 weeks ago, probably even more, those concerns became widely visible. In one of the actions people have been concerned about, she released a side profile art tutorial and showed a right and a wrong way of drawing the side profile of the face. The wrong way had the jaw protruding further than the right one, and she called the wrong one gorilla looking MF. In another one of those actions, she fixed, quote unquote, someone's art of a POC character by erasing the ethnic features by following the method described in the side profile tutorial she did. Some other actions she did include calling the edges on a black character a second pair of eyebrows. I've seen one video mentioning that she called a skin tone tan when it wasn't. It was more dark than it actually was. There was lightning and OC skin tone, and quote-unquote fixing of art depicting of lips mostly in black people. She says she only draws pretty people, quote-unquote. However, she only ever draws like anime characters in a manhwa style and never really draws POC characters. I feel like the list goes on. There have already been a lot of videos made on Kooleen, but 3 I recommend watching are 𝗀𝗏𝗏's video, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 celestia's video, and 𝗂𝗶𝗱𝗏𝗏's video. They pretty much voice a lot of the same concerns and opinions that I do and go more into depth on the situation, so if you want a video with more explanation, check those out. I love the way Duchess Celestia handled her video. She gave an opportunity for black/POC voices to be heard by representing the responses and opinions of her POC audience in a video without speaking over them. Oftentimes when issues related to race are being covered, POC/black voices are being heard properly, and it has to take the prominent white voices to voice the same concerns that we people of color have for the issue to be noticed and addressed. Any opportunity for black voices to be heard in a situation like this is a good one. 𝗀𝗏 is a black artist on YouTube, and I feel like it's important that our opinions and feelings be heard. As I said before, it is very hard for us people of color to be taken seriously in situations like these. Women, as well as other black people as POC, are voicing their concerns and opinions on the situation at feelings that are valid and they deserve to be heard. And lastly, 𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲 videos give some interesting insight on the beauty standards some Filipinos may have in one part of his video, as he is Filipino just like Kooleen. I feel like listening to what he has to say might give some insight on the thought process Kooleen have, although I do have one issue with that video that I will discuss later. Again, if you want videos that go more into depth, or if you want to hear some more opinions and concern about this whole situation, go watch those videos, show them support, and show some love to the people who were genuinely hurt by Kooleen's actions. Now that I've explained the controversy a bit, I'd like to voice my own feelings on the matter. Forgive me in advance as I have some strong feelings on this situation. When I first became aware of the controversy, the side profile tutorial that was being mentioned over and over was already taken down, and I was a little confused as to what was going on. Once I dug a little deeper though, I became shocked at the information I learned. I was even more shocked and also disappointed that Kooleen wasn't addressing the situation. For a while, she was just posting videos as if everything was normal. Naturally, everyone was enraged that she was doing that. Since the situation was still developing, I thought it would be best to wait and see how things played out. And played out it did. After like 2 or 3 weeks of posting as normal, she posted an apology on her Instagram. Excuse my French, but Kooleen, what the actual fuck? You mean to tell me that you took 2 to 3 fucking weeks before posting your apology, quote unquote, to post said apology, quote unquote, on your fucking Instagram behind a fucking doodle? First off, Kooleen did not say a single word addressing the situation beforehand. One thought that came to my mind was that maybe those videos were already pre-recorded and already scheduled for release. But still, even then, she should have added a note in the description saying so, and that she'll address the situation soon. Heck, she could have, and honestly should have, halted the posting of those videos and waited until after she addressed everything. I'm sure many people wouldn't even know she made one on her Instagram if it weren't for those people mentioning it in the comments. Like when I was searching to look for it myself, I forgot what folder it was out there, so I was clicking around struggling to find it for a bit. Her apology wasn't even a proper apology at all. It was a half-assed wall of text on a photo filled with excuses without an explanation as to why she was making it to her audience on Instagram. So let me read it out for you. I want to sincerely apologize to the people I hurt. My channel is completely satire, and I know my content revolves around being offensive, but I would never aim any hate or discrimination towards a particular race or gender. I roast, quote unquote, everyone equally in a satirical manner. There was no malice intended. I was ignorant on the implication of using certain words, as I do not consume much Western content. I genuinely was not referring to any race at all. I'm aware that a lot of people will continue to hate me after this and take my words out of text, but I'm not making this apology for them. They are irrelevant. Additionally, I want to emphasize that my fans specifically asked their art to be roasted. You may check through the hashtag #KooleenRoastMe. I'm only apologizing to the people I hurt, and my fans who generally enjoy my videos. I'll do better in the future. Just like Thuman and 𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲𝗏 said in their videos, whether or not your videos are meant to be mean or satirical, there is a line that has to be drawn. There was no need for the derogatory comments you made towards the artwork depicting POC. You don't need to consume Western content to acknowledge our existence, to acknowledge our culture. I don't care if you're ignorant, you are a massive creator whose audience is a large variety of people with access to a massive amount of inspiration. There should be no excuse as to why you are unaware of the people who make up your audience, and there is no excuse as to why you are unaware of the race issues that most of the internet is already aware of. After she made her quote-unquote apology, people just started forgiving her just like that, and I bet the majority of those people aren't even black or POC and are mostly white, and or are probably ignorant of the situation because they lack the context, probably because they only found the apology that was made on her Instagram. Let me emphasize this. If you are not black/POC, please do not accept her quote-unquote apology on our behalf. That choice, to accept it, should be our choice and our choice only. Many black/POC people were genuinely hurt by Kooleen's actions. There are some black/POC users who have accepted the apology, and that is their choice to make. For me, I cannot and will not accept it. It doesn't come across as someone who is genuinely sorry for what they did and promises to do better. It comes across as dismissive, and to me, it paints Kooleen as someone who just wants to sweep it under the rug. Like, she put it on her Instagram, where only a fraction of her audience is. I would have been fine and said, alright, if she just put her apology in a community post on YouTube. Heck, even if she put that half-assed wall of text on a photo as the first image of her post so that it can be more easily found. But no, we got that half-assed wall of text on a photo on her Instagram post behind a fucking doodle. But oh, that's not all. About a week or so ago, she made a video about her controversy. I thought, oh, it might be a proper apology. I was mistaken. Before she posted it, 𝗀𝗏𝗏 and Sam Does Arts made videos about the situation, not covering the drama side, but instead turning it into something educational, which I very much appreciate. Kooleen pretty much did the same thing, but the video had her Kooleen flair to it, pretty much making the situation as entertainment rather than a genuine apology. I couldn't tell if she was messing around or if she was actually serious, and honestly, it wasn't the time for that attitude she was displaying. It seems like Kooleen doesn't know when and when not to use her satirical persona or character. I was introduced to Kooleen through Sam Does Art, and I liked the fun banter they had with each other. I ended up watching her content because I did find her character entertaining, but there isn't time and place for everything. What I like about both Sam as well as Ethan is that they know when to mess around and when to be genuine and serious, especially Ethan. That Kooleen flair would have been better in a video after a proper apology, especially an apology in video form where there was no messing around, none of that flair, just her regular voice and or thoughts in a genuine exclamation or apology. And just like with her last quote-unquote apology, there were so many people who I bet weren't even black/POC, and I'm sure the ones who are mostly buried in the comments, are just forgiving her. There are so many people saying that people are so sensitive or telling people to leave Kooleen alone, and it's just sad. There were people blowing it way out of proportion and were canceling her just because they plain hate her. But those comments don't realize that by generalizing everyone who responded, they're diminishing the actual real concern people had with Kooleen and silencing the voices of us people of color. I agree with the fact that she doesn't have to draw us people of color. Art is supposed to be fun, a way to express yourself. Draw what you feel comfortable and have fun drawing. No one has any right to police what you should draw and at what pace you should be drawing. Everyone's art journey is different, but if your art or your behavior towards other people's art is hurting others, then there's what I have a problem with. It's bad enough that we people of color don't have much representation in media and that we have to constantly fight to be represented. If you are going to draw black/POC characters in your art style, and it's the first time doing so, please do research first and practice. There are many tutorials out there, especially ones made by black creators, to give you a guide. I recommend tutorials from Thuman, and you can also observe the art styles from the speed paints for black creators tool. one example being 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. It also doesn't hurt to ask for advice and criticism, and you don't have to share your work publicly if you feel uncomfortable. I also agree with the opinion that if you wish to provide tutorials, please make sure that you know what you're talking about and don't present your tutorial as a hard fact. Mention the method that you are presenting may not work for some people and just to use it as a guide. There are millions of different ways to draw something, and some methods click for different people. I feel like I've voiced what I can on how I feel with Kooleen, but before I move on to my conclusion, I do want to address a problem I mentioned earlier with 𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗁's video here, as he does address 𝗵𝗁𝗁's art in his video. 𝗵𝗁𝗁's art did introduce me to Kooleen, and he did involve himself in the situation, but only to give educational information, not to further perpetuate the controversy. 𝗵𝗁𝗁 mentions that Sam has an issue with same-face syndrome and the way that he draws women, and that his art of women has some misogynistic undertones. That was a shock to me, and what was concerning was that 𝗵𝗁𝗁 never really provided the reason why he would say such a thing, and only provided one screenshot of Sam responding to Kooleen, saying how it can be tired on the internet, which isn't really a problematic statement to me, to be honest, and not providing any screenshots with the context of his defense, when this happened and where it happened, or any links to videos to show evidence.
Funnier is how 𝗵𝗁𝗁's art, of all people, say it's oh so tiring to be on the internet. Boo-hoo, I got called out for having misogynistic undertones in my art because I can't draw women with different faces, but I can draw men perfectly fine. Like, may it fucking get out of here?
I had to do a quick YouTube search to get more information on it, and found a video on him by 𝗂𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗁, and I'll link her video in the description and recommend you watch it if you want a quick rundown of that situation and her thoughts on it. To be honest, 𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗁 didn't need to mention Sam in his video. I didn't know of said controversy, and it was a separate issue that Sam already apologized for, and more maturely than how Kooleen handled her backlash. He took down the post in question, took accountability point blank with no excuses. To me personally, since that incident, Sam has gone out of his way to improve his diversity in his art. It's not much, but it's still improvement, and 𝗵𝗁𝗁 neglecting to mention Sam's apology and his attempts to improve is concerning to me. But most importantly, why is same-face syndrome an issue in this context? It's not an issue to me personally. Generally, artists suffering from same-face syndrome isn't really an issue to me. I know it's a common issue, especially with beginner artists, but like I expressed before, as long as the art or behavior towards it is not hurting others, the artist in question should be allowed to draw how they know best and improve at their own pace. When an artist does make an attempt to improve, we should praise them for doing so, because it will encourage them to keep improving. 𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗁, you have expressed in your video that you don't enjoy Sam's content, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're going to make a serious statement like that in your video, it is very important that you provide the necessary context and evidence that supports your statement, especially since there are most likely many new viewers listening in on your video who probably haven't heard of that situation like how I was, and there doesn't seem to be any previous video discussing Sam and his situation, or much mention of it on your Twitter besides you mentioning Sam's involvement with Kooleen and you mentioning Sam when you mentioned Solar Sands. I mostly consume Sam's YouTube content, so I'm not aware of any issues that happened with him outside of it. So if you, 𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗁, or anyone else who has screenshots with context and evidence that shows that Sam has been showing a problematic pattern of behavior, please let me know. I am still traumatized from the commentary and art commentary communities crashing and burning, and I really don't want to be supporting any creators that have shown to have a pattern of problematic behavior behind the scenes. Until I have been given the evidence, unfortunately, I'm going to have to raise my eyebrow at you, 𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗁, and take those statements with a grain of salt, and will do so each time you make future statements like that but fail to provide any context or evidence. Sam will be innocent until proven guilty for now. Now that I have gotten that out of the way, I'll give my final thoughts on the situation. I don't think Kooleen is racist. I never once did. However, her actions were racist and the way she handled it was insensitive. She had every opportunity to handle this in a mature way, and unfortunately she chose not to. Because of her failure to properly address the people she had hurt and own up to her actions, I am no longer subscribed to her and will no longer support her content in the future, nor will I recommend her content to others until I see that she has made changes to her behavior and does better in the future. I have lost my patience and respect for her, and I'm sure a lot of people, especially blacks and POCs, feel the same. I'm disappointed at how most of her ignorant and gullible audience forgave her and accepted her apology when they had no place to, and I feel like a lot of black/POC voices were pushed aside in her community. I am super glad Duchess Celestia gave an opportunity for us people of color to be heard, and I urge others to do the same. I also urge people to support creators like 𝗂𝗏, as it can be really hard for black/POC artists to be noticed and supported, especially in situations where racism is involved. Please remember to be kind to those around you, and with that being said, thank you for listening to this little snail talk. I'll see you guys next time.